Hey, this is Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Tusk D-Flex Pro handguards on your dirt bike. One of the benefits of having full wraparound handguards like this are if you tip the bike over, it can help save your controls and levers. And these are really popular for desert riding, off-road, and other trail types of riding. They're gonna protect your hands from roosts, tree branches, and other objects, as well as if you're doing some cold weather riding, it's gonna keep the wind off your hands and keep your hands just a little bit warmer. So with that being said, as far as fitment goes, you can run these with a 7/8 inch bar or 1 1/8. Just make sure you select that kit when you go to check out. Now, the other thing about these, they're really quick and simple to install, and they'll fit almost any dirt bike. It's really easy to do. So we're gonna show you how to do it on this 2018 KTM 450 SXF. To do this job, you're gonna need a number 2 Phillips screwdriver and a 5mm Allen key. Additionally, we're using some safety glasses, rags, and then these are the bar clamps. Again, you can get these in either 7/8 or 1 1/8 inch diameters. And then these aluminum bars, these are all gonna be the same on these, but you can get different colors of shields. And while you're installing these handguards, you may wanna get some new grips on your bike. If you do that, you may need some grip glue, safety wire. This is the grip end cutter, and depending what style of grip you have, to cut those ends out of the grip to get these full wraparounds on, you may need a hammer and a hacksaw. All right, first thing, it's a good idea to read through your instructions and get familiar with the process before you start. But all we're gonna do is loosen up this throttle housing. And what we're gonna do is knock the ends of the grips out. Now, this really depends on what style of grip you have. So these ODIs, you can actually take them off and pop the ends out. But if you don't have lock-on grips, then you're gonna need to cut the ends off. So even though this is a lock-on grip, an ODI, we're still gonna show you how to cut this off. So what you need to do, once you have the throttle housing loosened up, you move it down on the handlebar about 1 inch, tighten it down, and we're gonna take our hacksaw. And on this, you wanna take as little material off as possible. So maybe 1/8 of an inch. Really, you're just barely cutting the end of that off, and just make sure you're cutting straight all the way through. And then once this end is off, what we're gonna do is you can take a razor blade and clean this end up, or a little bit of sandpaper, but you just wanna make sure all of this stuff, all of these shavings you just cut off, you don't want them to get back down in between the throttle tube and the bar. So that's why we have this thing facing down. And once we have all those cleaned up, we're just gonna wipe it out with a rag. All right, so once you've cleaned that up, we'll go ahead and put this throttle tube back in its original position. Now on the left side of the bar, we're actually gonna take this lock-on grip, we're gonna take it off and show you how to pop the end out. But if you have a standard grip over here, what you can do is take a hammer, and you're actually gonna hit on the end of that grip, and the bar itself is gonna cut the end of that grip out, and you can just pull that rubber piece off. Now, if you're using standard grips, to get the best cut, you wanna use the Tusk grip end cutter. So for the lock-on, we'll loosen that up and pull the grip off. Once the grip is off, you'll take it over to the workbench, and you're gonna find a T-handle that fits pretty close to the inside diameter of the grip. And then all you need to do is slam it down, and it's gonna pop that end out. You can also use a razor blade to help finish cutting that end off. At this point, we'll go ahead and slide the grip back into place. Make sure the end is flush with the bar. We'll tighten it down. And now that we have both ends of our grips opened up, we can now install these wraparound handguards. The next step is to install these aluminum bars. So on these, the right side, this bar is gonna be slanting down just a little bit when you put it in place, and the left one's gonna be slanting down the opposite way. And when you install these, what you're gonna have to do is determine whether you have steel handlebars or aluminum. If you have the steel bars, you'll be using this rubber spacer, but we obviously have aluminum. And then what you wanna do, remove the screw, And you're gonna set this, put the screw through the aluminum bar, and then we'll install it onto this nut. And we're just gonna leave this loose for now. Once you start tightening this down, this nut is gonna expand these metal fingers, and that's what actually locks it in place. So what we're gonna do is slide this down into our bar, and I'm just gonna loosely tighten these just enough to keep it from falling down. And we are gonna need to adjust this a little later on. Once you have your aluminum bar in place, you're gonna look at your bar clamps. You have a left and a right side. And when you have these installed, the U needs to be facing up. So the other nice thing about these is all the hardware is 5mm Allen. So it just makes everything a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all these Allen bolts and then set this clamp in place. Then obviously we're just setting this to where this last bolt is gonna go into place so everything lines up on the bar. And for now, we're just gonna have everything loosely installed. So as you can see, I had to rotate this master cylinder up to get this bolt into place. And then I'm gonna put this front bolt through that aluminum bar into the clamp. And again, we're leaving everything loose. Make sure it's all fitted up. And then we can start tightening everything down. Once you have everything in the position that you want it, we're gonna start with this Allen key or this Allen bolt on the outer end of the bar. We'll tighten that down. Once that's tightened, we'll move on to this clamp, and we're just gonna tighten this in a couple different steps. And last, we'll do the Allen bolt on the front of that bar. Then once all that's tightened up, you wanna go back through and double check everything, make sure it's all snug down. Next, we'll attach this shield to the aluminum bar with the 3 screws. With the right side installed, we'll go ahead and do these same steps on the left side of the bar. That's all there is to installing the Tusk D-Flex Pro handguards on your dirt bike. It's really simple to do, and if you need these guards, they're available on our website, so be sure to check that out. And for more helpful content, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.